Story 1. Am I the bumhole for exposing my sister in her wedding group chat? I, a 25-year-old female, am a bridesmaid for my sisters, who we'll call Joanne for privacy, and she's 28, female, it's for her wedding. She's engaged to an amazing guy, who we'll call Tom, 30-year-old male. I don't like my sister much. She's really rude at times, and refuses to acknowledge it, so I've been LC since I was 22. I'm only at her wedding because she and my mother begged me to do it. LC is low contact, by the way. My sister has a wedding group chat, which involves our family, most of our extended family, her friends, everyone in the wedding party, and everyone in Tom's family. She posts private conversations about the wedding there between her and bridesmaids or other people for some reason. She says it's for evidence of something. I don't know. She's also quite the bridezilla. Most of the bridesmaids look the same as per my sister's image: brown hair, blue eyes. Ones who were naturally another color were required to get lenses, which in my opinion is a little weird. Among other things. It's not a big deal, but her best friend and maid of honor, who we'll call Kate, 29 female, stands out because, unlike the rest of us, she's a bit on the heavier side. Not overweight, but noticeably bigger than all of us. Kate's really sweet. I've known her since elementary school, and we're pretty close, which is why I was suspicious when I saw that Joanne uploaded a text thread where Kate was calling her a butthole. The conversation was about how Kate's dress that Joanne bought wasn't fitting her, then black text from Joanne, then Kate calling her a butthole and shaming her. The text was quite big, and I was curious. I saw something about how to see text covered in black on TikTok, so I went back to it and did what it said to see what Joanne could have said to warrant that reaction from Kate. Well, as to my suspicions, Kate wasn't being a butthole for no reason. Joanne decided to go on a rant, berating Kate because she couldn't fit in the dress. Most notable line being, maybe if you weren't so fat, you'd fit in the dress. Go to the gym for once in your life, amongst saying she's not buying another dress and horrible names. I took a screenshot, and when I went back to the group chat, everyone was like, wow, what the F? How could Kate say that? So to show everyone what really happened, I sent the screenshot. Well, next thing I know, everyone is siding with Kate. And Joanne is blowing up my phone, calling me all sorts of names and calling BS in the group chat. Mom was angry, and Dad is yet to give an opinion. A few people called me an a-hole for doing this, but this was all her close friends, so I wanted an unbiased opinion. So, great judges of the internet, am I the a-hole? Too long didn't read. Sister fat-shamed her maid of honor for not fitting in her dress. Maid of honor reacted as one should. Sister screenshotted it and sent it to the wedding group chat, left her bad part out. I found out and sent the real conversation to the group chat. No, not the a-hole. I usually say that the bride and the groom should have the wedding that they want and they can have the details they want to fuss over, but only up to the extent that it doesn't impede on other people's freedoms and their rights and their preferences for how they look and who they are. You shouldn't make other people feel bad for going to your wedding. Sure, you can fuss over, the details of the cloths and the food and things that don't really, make a difference, but to then try to dictate how someone looks, like their physical appearance, their eye color, and if they can't change anything about their weight, they shouldn't have to change anything about their weight, but you discriminating against them, that makes you the a-hole as the bride, not the OP in this case. So the bride is an a-hole for trying to get some sort of Aryan race wedding bridal party going. That's just crazy. I don't know why you would want everyone to look exactly the same to begin with, but then the OP totally has the right to expose the true colors in the group chat. But the way that she went about it is kind of funky. It's like she went full-on CIA trying to unredact black redacted text in a text thread. I'm not sure exactly how you go about that, but good for her for figuring that out. I think she should apply for an FBI position or something like that. Didn't know that was possible, but since it is, and she exposed the truth of the matter, then by all means, let that fly through the group chat and maybe take some heat over some people thinking that you're being a brat about it. But in reality, the bride is the one who's unjustified in this case. Story 2. Rental car company tried to charge me for an extra day, so I refused to give back the car until the last minute. I rented a car for 5 weeks while my car was being repaired from a car accident. The rental company had a couple great policies: no cleaning fee, no matter how gross the car was, and unlimited miles. Ideal for me. I live in the country and going anywhere is a drive. When my car was finally scheduled to be finished, a Monday evening, I called the rental car company on Sunday, asked about return details. They said the return time would be 5:30 p.m. Monday, but I could just leave it at the shop and leave the keys in the shop's drop box. I said sure, and next night I went, got my car, and left the keys in the box. Got in my car and checked the engine light is on. Screw it. Oh man. Staff says come back tomorrow and we will fix it. I go home thinking that I'll be sitting at the shop all Tuesday because there's no other ride. Tuesday morning I woke up at 7 a.m. to the rental car company very angry and saying that they can't get into the drop box and the shop doesn't open till 9. I tell them that I just did what they said to do. They told me that they would be charging me an extra day. At that, I'm furious. I leave my house later and arrive at the shop at 8:50. Rental car guys aren't there. I sit around and the shop opens. I grab the rental keys and give them my car. Right on time, rental car guys appear. They demand the keys and I ask if I'm still getting charged for an extra day. One guy is inspecting the car while the other tells me, yes, I'm getting charged an extra day. Guy inspecting it comes over and the car looks good. It should be ready to rent immediately. I had cleaned it the day before because I didn't want to be a D-bag. Well, I refused to give him the keys. Since I'm getting charged an extra day, that means it's my car until 5:30 today, right? At that, he gets nervous. Says they need the car back. I will give you the keys now if you don't charge me an extra day, but if I'm charged an extra day, I'm using it. He refuses to bend, so I leave. At this point, I'm petty and angry, so I went straight home. I own a farm and it has been raining like mad lately. I get to work. By the time 10 a.m. rolls around, the car is covered in mud. Like this black car looks painted brown. I didn't trash the inside because I'm not that petty. I hop in the car and drive to the rental place. I'm pretty covered in mud at this point. I put trash bags on the front seat to limit it. I walked into the rental place looking like I fell into a mud pit. The guy who refused to cancel the charge looks horrified. I tell them, this car is great for mudding. I'm gonna go mudding for the rest of the day. Just swinging by to ask where to put the keys at 5:30. I'm all smiles and dripping sweetness. I watch the life leave him. His shoulders slump. And he says if I return the car now, they will cancel the charge because they need to rent out the car. I give me the keys and take an Uber to the shop where my car is ready. No cleaning fee and no extra day charge. Ha! Edit. All right, might as well address the few things y'all are complaining about. The Uber. I called the Uber after I walked out of the rental car place. It took half an hour to arrive. I had brought extra trash bags, so I stripped down a bit, shorts and undershirt, and put on 2 trash bags that I cut holes in. Put my clothes in a bag, let the mud on my exposed body parts flake off. Did I look absolutely ridiculous? Yes. Did I get mud in some poor stranger's car? No. I didn't want to actually ruin the day for some kid getting minimum wage. That's why I only muddied the outside. That's a pretty easy clean. I didn't want to wreck anyone's day. Even the jerkwad that charged me. My goal was to make the car messy and shocking enough to get them to not charge me because they were desperate to get it back. If the outside is that bad, what did he do to the inside? The car was $91 freaking dollars a day. First 3 weeks, $39 a day, and then went up for the last 2 weeks to $91, and my insurance did not cover it. I was not willing to let $91 slide. The keys were left at the auto shop, in the auto shop's key box. That key box was not open at 7 a.m. when the rental car company went to get the car. When I went around 9 a.m. to drop my car off, the auto shop opened the box for me and gave me the rental car keys. Rental car people appeared a few minutes later. I see a black car and I want it painted brown with mud. I think this guy did exactly what he should have done. I think he's totally justified to try to give them a taste of their own medicine. If the rental car company has these policies, then they should honor them. It shouldn't just be one-sided and benefit the car company themselves. He was totally right in thinking that he could use the extra day however he pleased. That's what he was being charged for. That's what he's going to do. It's at least nice of him that he didn't go full force and get mud all over the interior. He totally could have, and it would have been covered. That's in the policy, that's how it's written, he could have taken full advantage. But yep, he pared it back just enough to make a point and get what he needed and save the $91. And hopefully he taught somebody a little bit of a lesson so they could treat the customers a bit better next time and not try to make them jump through all the hoops. Story 3. Today I messed up by telling my dad about the Karen meme. My family loves to overshare. This lack of filter sometimes has the tendency to get people into trouble because not all the information is provided, even when it's meant harmlessly. My parents are a bit older, prime okay boomer age. I was talking to my dad the other day on the phone because his birthday dinner was a few days later. I asked how mom was doing, and he went on to tell me a story about how my mom and Aunt Karen were at the store and the cashier made a mistake. My aunt went off on the cashier and asked to see the manager. My mom was mortified and tried to calm her down, but she wasn't having it. I then mentioned to my dad, "That's such a Karen thing." He goes on to say, "Yeah, your aunt does that a lot." I tell him, that's the funny part. The Karen meme is a real thing. It's when an entitled, typically white woman gets angry at the smallest mistake and asks for the manager. My dad found this hilarious, and I explained in more detail. I sent him a few links to sites explaining it online. He finds all of this hilarious, and she even has the Karen hairstyle, the Heron care style. This sends him down the Google Images rabbit hole, and the next few days, he sends me random memes of Karens doing Karen stuff, adding, "Your aunt did this last week," or "I think this one is about your aunt." This leads up to his birthday dinner with extended family. My dad's birthday dinner is going well. Everyone is having a good time, good food and drinks, etc. Suddenly, my aunt, sitting a few seats down from me, leans forward and loudly shouts down the table, "Hey, you, what's this whole thing about making a meme about me?" I responded, "Huh?" She then tells me my dad sent her all these memes about things she's done. He didn't give her the context, that it's a generic meme from the internet and what it's about. Now, my aunt thinks I made all these memes about her real-life events. At this point, the entire family thinks I created this meme on the internet about my aunt's antics in public. There's a back and forth discussion about it being really rude of me. She's pulling Karen and starts chewing me out. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my dad like, WTF. Back me up here. My dad finally steps in to say that this is just a random viral internet thing and that I didn't make these up behind my aunt's back. Even after explaining, she's a bit irritated. It is apparent she's embarrassed that she is so much like a Karen and couldn't tell the difference between the stories online and her own encounters. Too long didn't read. I told my dad about the Karen meme because my aunt is named Karen and acts like a Karen. My dad sends my aunt memes he found. My aunt thinks I made them about her. She brings it up at my dad's birthday dinner and pulls a Karen on me. Oh, that is just too perfect. I mean, nobody likes to feel like they fall into a perfectly structured stereotype of any sort, but especially when it's a negative stereotype. I mean, everybody wants to feel like we're all unique in our own right and we can't be classified as anything so broad spread. But when this person whose name is Karen actually fits the bill for exactly what a Karen is, it's just too perfect. The best thing that could come out of this situation is, since they've held a mirror up to who she truly is and all of her bad habits and her negative characteristics, then maybe she'll think twice next time that she wants to act like a viral meme Karen, and maybe she'll decide to do something else. So hopefully that's how it turns out in the future, but I would imagine that the Karen runs deep in her blood and it might be harder to come by than I would hope, but it's certainly possible. Story 4. Am I the butthole telling my parents to pay me back my college tuition if they want a relationship? I was raised by parents who believed religiously and just culturally in rigid gender roles. Dad should work, Mom should stay home with the kids. I'm the only girl and have 3 brothers. Because of their expectation I'd stay home with kids, they never valued my education, educational achievements, or emphasized things beyond domestic skills. I'm the second youngest. By the time I was in high school, my 2 older brothers had gone to the college of their choice, with my parents fully covering tuition, books, an off-campus apartment, and other living expenses. They eventually did the same for my younger brother. I was told I wasn't allowed allowed to apply for college. I did so in secret and got accepted with a partial scholarship. I didn't tell them I was moving out until a week before I left, with essentially nothing but what a few friends gave to me that their parents bought them for college. I took engineering and had to work, take on debt, and struggle. My parents and I have barely spoken for years. I'm married now and expecting our first child, and they asked to meet up. We met at a park and they said they were sorry if they caused me pain, but would like a relationship now. I asked them specifically what they were sorry for. They wouldn't elaborate and just said they wanted to move forward. I said that wasn't sufficient. In the end, I said they could prove they were sorry by forwarding me the $100,000 my degree and college expenses were, just like they did for my brothers. My mom burst into tears. My dad said I wasn't being serious, and I just left. Since then, I've been getting calls from my brothers telling me I'm being immature and hurtful. I don't think so at all. Totally figures the parents, the soon-to-be grandparents in this case, they only want a relationship with the newborn baby and their daughter when it suits them. And when it doesn't, they couldn't be bothered. So if they had the foresight to see how life would progress, and if they even wanted grandkids in the first place, not that it's their choice, it's the daughter's choice, and she's not required to have grandkids for the parents. But if that's the life that they wanted, if they wanted a cohesive family, they should have nurtured and cultivated that with their own family, with their daughter and the 3 sons, not by shunning the daughter out of the future that she actually wanted. If they had given her the attention and the funding that they gave to the brothers, then they could have had a more cohesive, happy family. But they did this to themselves, and they will reap the repercussions because they set themselves up for this. Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.